All right, this is going to be a really quick, just brief overview of the hike to Calloway Peak via Boone Fork and New Wadi trails. You start out at Boone Fork Overlook is where you're going to park, and that is right off of the Blue Ridge Parkway. And pretty immediately into the hike, you get to cross Boone Fork on this beautiful bridge. And not too much further up the trail, only about maybe 1.25 miles, you start getting views like this. This is just before Top Craig. And it just goes to show, if you don't feel like hiking 7 miles for the day, you could always make it a much shorter hike and just come to this overlook or Top Craig just beyond it. Here's Top Craig. And if anybody knows what these white flowers are, please leave it in the comments. I've only ever hiked this trail in fall and the winter time, so I've never gotten to see these. Here's Flat Rock View. I believe that that's Price Lake off in the distance there. If you know differently, just leave it in the comments so that I'll get to know for next time. Great spot to stop for a snack. You're definitely going to need it on this hike. And seeing us step up onto this rock, it kind of highlights what your ability level should be. There's several places where you need to be able to climb up to rocks and boulders that are kind of at knee height. You're also going to be covering a lot of elevation here. So, it's 2,000 feet of elevation gain over about 3.6 miles. We logged a total of 7.3 for the day. And so if you've done hikes like going down into Linville Gorge and back up, you're going to be fine, no worries. But if you've only ever done a hike like Hanging Rock at Hanging Rock State Park, you should think to yourself, could I do that hike 4 times in a row? Really gorgeous trail. There's also ladders, so if you're comfortable with ladders, no worries. If they make you a little nervous, you got to be thinking about that. And I will say these are really well maintained. They've always felt sturdy while I was there. If you're maintaining 3 points of contact and you're paying attention to what you're doing, you should be fine. Just one person at a time on each ladder. Here is Calloway Peak. It was a little hazy the day that we were there, so you can imagine that depending on the day, you might get a lot better visibility, but still gorgeous. Here's our buddy. That is the most red-headed squirrel I've ever seen in North Carolina. I just included him because he got me tickled, so I enjoyed seeing him. We ended up eating lunch up on Calloway. It took us about 7 hours that day. I've done it in as little as 3 hours and 45 minutes though, so just kind of keep in mind your skill level. And here is something we didn't expect. Here's something I have not seen on this trail before, and it was really cool for me. This is a Cessna. It crashed into the side of the state park about 40 years ago. The pilot did lose his life, so just be respectful of that if you choose to explore around the wreckage like we did. It kind of brings that adventure aspect to your hike when you get to see something that you didn't expect to be there. This is just across from Raven Roost campsite, if you're hoping to see it as well when you hike this trail. Alright, coming back down, here is Top Craig again on the way back down. And I'm including this footage again because the next clip is going to be the same trail in October of last year. I always just get a kick out of seeing how much a trail can change depending on what time of year it is. You'll also see that we had a little freak snowstorm come up while we were there in October. So, I mean, just respect the elements, plan as well as you can, have your 10 essentials,
Freak snowstorm here.
Be prepared. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and let me know what we can do better on these videos.